everyone, it's me, Speed Force Master. I'm going to be doing a video that Arrowverse and Star Wars requested, which is also a video that I actually wanted to do myself. And now I decided to take a break from Flash videos since my last two didn't get enough views or comments or likes in any of my comments. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be doing my ranking on all the Batman movies from worst to best. Now, keep in mind, I'm only including the live action stuff, so I'm unfortunately not going to be including any films in the DCAU. But I mean, anyway, it's kind of a bummer that The Batman got delayed a lot, and I really hope that Robert Pattinson gets better after he got tested positive, but I've not checked on it much lately. And this is just my opinion. You're gonna have it different from me. And don't get angry at me for saying certain things, but let's just get into this ranking already. Coming in at last place, we have The Dark Knight. Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's Batman and Robin. Well, of course. Do I need to explain? I mean, this movie is an abomination. One of the worst movies ever made. Like, one of the worst ways how to do a sequel. You go from the first two movies, which are very dark, and they're gritty and able to take seriously, but then because audience, that being kids, took it too seriously, which I know some scary moments in it, but the parents treat it like a big deal, and they treat it like it's some kind of a horror movie when it's not. And they even sued McDonald's for marketing it. Yeah, you're probably thinking, hey, Speed Force Master, this sounds super dumb. And they should have no reason to have Warner Brothers listen to them. And you are very correct. And then we got Batman Forever, which I'll be talking about soon. And now this movie, which doubled down from all the worst aspects of that film. The nipples on the suits. What? I mean, that's disturbing. And Batman is not even intimidating at all. The villains are characters you'd expect from a cartoon or Sesame Street, when no, you're not supposed to do that. This film has killed the superhero genre. They use one-liners in everything they say, and it's a shame knowing that one of them was played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of my favorite actors. And Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy had a goal that are not even compatible. One of them wants to freeze the world, everything, while the other wants the world to be taken over by plants. How would that go together? And Bane was very dumb too. And Robin was very whiny. He keeps going like, it's Batman and Robin, not Robin and Batman. And it's even cringier than it sounds. Overall, terrible movie. And I'm so glad that even the cast and crew know that this was bad. The director, Joel Schumacher, actors, George Clooney, Chris O'Donnell, and many more. They all know this is terrible. Michael Keaton knew this was gonna suck. Val Kilmer didn't bother coming back. And speaking of which, coming in at the top 7, we have Batman Forever. And in this movie has almost everything that is as bad as Batman and Robin. Again, corny villains, which I understand one of them was played by Jim Carrey, but the other one, Two-Face, again, he's not intimidating the slightest. This is the Tim Burton Batman quadrilogy, not back in the Adam West era. And what's the point of even putting nipples on the suits? Even Val Kilmer, again, he knew this was bad. And Tommy Lee Jones, the actor for Two-Face, even hated this movie. And all I can say is everything about this sucked except Jim Carrey as the Riddler. I mean, Jim Carrey is always a good actor. Enough said. Coming in at the top 6, we have... It's gonna start some controversy, but Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Now, only the bottom 2 I do not like. Everything else are movies that I can enjoy, although it doesn't mean it's good, though. Let me explain why. I don't know if you guys known about this, but I'm really not too much of a huge DCEU fan, and that's because half of their movies are really bad. And Batman v Superman was the first out of the 4 bad movies. I mean, still better than Suicide Squad, Justice League, and Birds of Prey. But, I mean, let me talk about what I did like. Ben Affleck is great as Batman, and all the Justice League actors are great. Henry Cavill is probably my favorite Superman. But there's so many things I did not like. One, the first movie in the cinematic universe was Man of Steel, a Superman movie. And you wait 3 years and then go do a Batman crossover, which is your second movie. You don't do that. There was no build-up for Batman to even get there. And Doomsday did not even look like Doomsday. And he was instead General Zod resurrected into a monster. And although I mean, if you just want to watch it to see Batman and Superman beat each other up, you won't be disappointed. And all except for the ending, maybe. Like, literally, when Superman says Martha, Batman says, "Why did you say that name?" And even how it should have ended makes fun of that movie as well, or at least that line. And then, don't even get me started on Lex Luthor. He was very badly written. He compares Superman to religion. He doesn't even act like Lex Luthor, but rather a character like the Riddler, and he urinates in cups. Yeah. That sounds very messed up, doesn't it? Exactly. I mean, I originally liked these movies, but in the DCEU, well, everything but Suicide Squad at least. I mean, I still like Man of Steel and Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam, but the rest are all pretty bad. I mean, Batman v Superman is still enjoyable. I'll still watch it, and I'll recommend it to people, but it's nowhere near as bad as Batman Forever or Batman and Robin. I mean, it's like Terminator 2 compared to them. But if you like this more than me, I'm fine with it. Just, I hope you understand my point. I even remember back, this actually used to be my favorite of the DCEU, and people used to tell me how this was really bad. I kind of used to argue with that fact, but then I thought about it after a while and realized this was not as good as I remembered it being, and all the reasons I gave were the reasons why. Coming in at the top 5, we have The Dark Knight Rises. Now, from here on up, these are all movies that I consider good, where everything below that is guilty pleasure to really bad to terrible. And The Dark Knight Rises, I mean, Tom Hardy is still really good as Bane, and it's good ending to a trilogy. The only negative I have with it is that it's just a little boring compared to everything above it. Coming in at the top 4, we have Batman Returns. Now, I think this is one of the most underrated movies ever made. And Batman Forever is one of the reasons why I consider this one underrated. I mean, like, they say it's too scary and all that. I mean, it's not even scary at all. My 7-year-old self could probably watch this without cringing. Yeah, that's right. And by the way, when I was 7, I actually did used to watch those kind of movies, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Although, so many good things about this movie that I highly enjoyed. And I actually watched this the same day I watched Batman, the one from 1989. I just like my top 3 more, that's all I can say. Coming in at the top 3, we have Batman Begins. I really like this movie. It's one of the greatest origin stories ever made. And it has a lot of intensity in it, and was definitely a huge step up from the last 2 movies in this franchise. Christian Bale is probably the best Batman. I mean, many argue it's Kevin Conroy. I agree. Just like how Mark Hamill, in my opinion, is a better Joker than Heath Ledger, but only because he's got the voice and can play any Joker, while Heath Ledger is just, well, the psychopath or criminal or whatever. But anyway, this is Batman Begins, not my top 2. And I don't know if there's anything else I can say. Coming at the top 2, we have Batman, the one from 1989. Such a classic. One of the greatest superhero movies ever made. I mean, this definitely changed the way of Batman. It's the reason why all of these comic books are dark. It's the reason why we have so many stuff like that. It's the reason why we have edgier superheroes. Well, except for the anti-heroes, of course, but yeah. Oh, and Batman Forever, at least if it weren't for that, we would have never have gotten the DCAU, which is pretty much when live action was cartoon was real life, and that's why we got Batman the Animated Series to kickstart it. Okay, well, I don't mean to bring that up, but still I should have brought that up. I mean, Jack Nicholson is still an amazing Joker. I mean, he's funny, but he's really sinister at the same time. And has so many great things about any 80s movie, even for its time. Like, this was brought back when Marvel movies were worse than DC movies. And, I mean, to be honest, there were no good Marvel movies. And, yeah, a lot of good things about this movie. But my number 1 is The Dark Knight. This film is a masterpiece. I mean, it's got the best Batman, best Joker in the form of live action. Two-Face is still really good. Amazing, actually. It's got this darkness and realisticness to it. And it's one of the best ways how to do a sequel. And I don't know what else I can say. I don't think I need to explain why. Anyway, what'd you think of this ranking? Tell me yours and let me know what video I should do next.